Living is a struggle against the law of entropy increase. If only one law could remain in physics, I would choose the law of entropy increase. Many people say that the law of entropy increase is the most terrifying law in physics. There's no other law that compares to it. Because the law of entropy increase itself means that, no matter how the world develops, there is only one final outcome, and that outcome is destruction. Einstein once said, "The law of entropy increase is the first law." Schrödinger also mentioned that the purpose of life's existence is to reverse entropy increase. But the terrifying thing is, entropy is irreversible. Life inevitably faces death. We humans, through chemical reactions, release heat into the universe, which reduces entropy increase to some extent. However, humanity's power is so small that we cannot resist entropy. So, what exactly is entropy? How can we resist entropy? Let's dive into today's content, the law of entropy increase. Before we can understand the law of entropy increase, we need to know what energy is. If after reading this chapter, you still don't understand what entropy is, it's definitely not your fault. It might be the content of this film that's unclear, but most of it is simply due to entropy's abstract nature. You should have learned about the law of energy conservation in your middle school physics book. This is known as energy conservation. The basic idea is that in a closed system, the total energy remains constant. Energy doesn't just disappear. It simply transforms from one form to another. For example, in thermal power generation, chemical energy from fuel is converted into thermal energy, then into mechanical energy, and finally into electrical energy. To put it simply, fuel is burned to generate heat, which heats water, and the steam from the water drives a generator to produce electricity. But here's the problem. Scientists discovered a fatal flaw. Energy cannot be converted 100% efficiently in thermal power generation. The efficiency of converting thermal energy to electrical energy is only about 39%. This means a large portion of energy is wasted during the conversion process, and this wasted energy, which cannot be reused, is entropy. If you don't understand what entropy is by now, think of it as chaos or useless energy. Let's continue. After the concept of entropy emerged, the second law of thermodynamics was introduced, which led to the law of entropy increase. Some say the law of entropy increase accepts the ultimate evolutionary law of the universe, while others argue that the law of entropy increase is the most terrifying truth about the world. Let's think about a few questions. Why does hot water cool down? Why do computers freeze? Why does a neat desk eventually become chaotic and disordered? Why do clean walls get more and more disordered? Don't rush to answer yet. Let's continue. Why is laziness easier than self-discipline? Why is sleeping easier than working? Let's zoom out a bit. Why do dynasties constantly change, no matter how powerful they are? Why do species face extinction, no matter how strong they are? All of these questions can be explained by one law, the law of entropy increase. Now, let's look at the definition of the law of entropy increase. The law of entropy increase states that, in an isolated system, if no external work is done, the degree of disorder will continually increase. There are two key terms here that are very important. First, the term isolated system. In thermodynamics, an isolated system is one that does not exchange matter or energy with its surroundings. So, can we consider the universe itself as an isolated system? The second term is continually increasing. To explain this more simply, as we just discussed, energy is converted from one form to another, and some of it becomes useless energy, entropy. The law of entropy increase states that this useless energy is irreversible, it cannot be reused, and it continues to increase. In other words, whether it's the entire universe or a single star, its ultimate fate is to transform entirely into useless energy.